Welcome to Reality Wife, Happy Life. I'm MJ,
I'm Tommy.
and we're married. And while we agree on a lot of things,
Well, let's not get nuts.
when it comes to TV, we definitely
Definitely do not.
do not agree.
I like to watch games and sports, and her idea of sports is, which housewife is fastest to the bottle of wine.
My idea of sports is how many sale items can I get in my cart before I pass out at night? Because I'm all about shopping. But, we both digress. Even though you might not watch it,
I have to experience it because you always give me the rundowns, and
because I live for this shit.
Yes, you do.
Okay. And you know what? I know that I'm not alone because there was a joke that was told many years ago that this guy gets stuck on a deserted island and the only other person on the island is Giselle Bundchen.
Well, it's not deserted if there's someone else there. But go ahead.
And she eventually
She's still married to Tom Brady, or they divorced?
this was pre Tom Brady because it's an old joke. At this point, you can plug in any supermodel that you want.
Okay.
But the point of the joke is that eventually the guy,
Well, drowned her.
no, no,
No.
she's like, she hooks up with him.
Oh.
She sleeps with him.
Oh.
They become lovers.
Oh.
And the guy
Then he
says,
drowns her.
Tommy, you
Oh.
got to let me tell the joke.
Okay.
And then once they're together, he says to her, hey, Giselle, do you mind if I call you Bob? That's weird, but whatever you want, honey. Okay, do you mind going to the other side of the island? And I'll come and find you. And she goes, okay, that's even stranger, but go ahead. I'll go to the other side of the island and I'll let you come and find me. And so he comes over and he finds her and he says, hey, Bob, you'll never believe who I'm fucking. Do you get the point?
Yes, I do.
If you can't share your reality TV shows and what happened on these shows, then what's the point? Just like you like to talk sports about the games.
If a tree falls in the woods, does anybody hear it?
Exactly. So it's very, very crucial part of watching is talking about it.
And which Bravo shows, or what reality shows are we going to be talking about?
I want to say everything Bravo, Bachelor, Love is Blind, Love Island. I mean, anything y'all want to talk about.
That's a lot.
I mean, look, we're going to cover everything, including celebrity stuff, like the things that are happening that people want to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. But today is our very first episode of Reality Wife, Happy Life.
I'm thrilled.
Okay. Well, I think it's kind of ironic that you, of all people, are a part of a show called Reality Wife, Happy Life, since that's basically a play on one of your triggers. Isn't it ironic
Yes.
that we're naming a show after one of your top trigger phrases?
Yeah, I do not like the phrase happy wife, happy life. I think that's extortion. I think that's saying that if you don't make her happy, then she can make you fucking miserable. And I don't see how that is fair.
You're misunderstanding the phrase.
No, I think I got it pretty clear.
What it means is we do things for love.
Okay.
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 So work with me here. I think it's going to be, listen, I mean, today we got to dive into the obvious.
What's that?
Today we're going to dive into the Scandoval of it all.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We're going to talk about Vanderpump Rules.
Oh, man.
And not only the Scandoval, but it happens to be one of our friends, Sheena and Brock's wedding.
Oh, we were invited to that.
I know. It's so crazy because I was just thinking about it. In tonight's episode, we're going to break down what happened, but it's also an episode that we were supposed to be at.
Wow, we really could have been part of the reality then.
I mean, I'm just saying it's a little
Close to home.
It's interesting because what perspective you guys are going to get from us is I've been on Bravo for 10 years and we're friends with a lot of the people in the Bravo world. I should say, Tommy and I. And should we just dive into the episode? Because I think that we should just dive right in.
Go ahead.
But the tea on the trip is that we couldn't go. It was last August.
Well, the reason that we, just the reason that we're doing this, because we haven't, for those out there that don't know, we actually have another podcast, which is Till the Dirt.
With Tommy and MJ.
Yeah, we've been doing that for, a couple of years. We more or less just talk about our life, our relationship, marriage, being a parent, the ins and outs that come with all that. But from time to time, we cross that line into this sphere. And
which some people love.
Yeah.
And then some people are like, no, we don't want to hear about Scandoval.
Some people really, are emphatic about it. They really love the reality aspect. And as long as I don't have to watch the shows, I'm good. So we're going to basically talk about the shows. My wife's going to give me the rundown of what happened on any of these shows that she loves so much. And I'll give them, the feedback that I have as someone that was on one of these shows and my experience and what, coming at it from that perspective.
Yeah, now I think your perspective is not only funny, but it's also the male POV, which a lot of us need.
Yeah.
And I don't like to leave any ties untied.
You having trouble there, kid?
Yes.
Okay.
Loose ends?
Yeah.
Okay. Sheena and Brock invited us to their wedding, which was last August.
Yes.
At the time, and Nima was invited. I mean, a few of our friends would have been there, and it wouldn't have just been like going to crash an episode of Vanderpump. In fact, when she invited us, I didn't realize that there were going to be cameras there because I just wasn't thinking in those terms.
But that's definitely a reason that I wouldn't want to go. I don't want to go be part of, an episode of Vanderpump. That's no offense. I don't care what it was. I just, I'd much rather not do that.
Well, it's not just that, but it's also, I agree, but it's also because we're on a completely different show and they don't do crossovers. It's like we're just two separate shows on one network.
Yeah.
And when you go to something, if there's cameras there and your main cast for a decade on another show and you're basically at somebody else's work.
Oh, man.
It's like you're a stalker.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And also you kind of have to.
That sounded bougie. That
stay out of the way.
I don't want to go do. I've been on the show for 10 years. I don't have to come do this.
No.
I mean,
it doesn't work that way. Like we can't really be there, but we're there.
Everybody loves Raymond and King of Queens cross over it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we haven't seen the episode of her actual wedding yet because it hasn't aired yet, and there would have been shots of us there. Like we were in the Schwartz and Sandy soft open in the beginning of this season because that one at the time I really wanted to support everybody there. I've been to Ariana's book launch party at the Mondrian. I've been to many different things were each other's events.
You show support.
All I wanted to say was that this destination wedding, I would have loved. Did they go to Cancun?
I have no idea.
And I mean, it would have been a really fun trip. But when you go to somebody else's show, it's going to be a little, I imagine that it would have been uncomfortable for us. Not to mention, we have a baby. At the time, Shams had just turned 3.
We don't have the baby anymore.
He was only 3. He was a lot younger than he is now.
Well, he's 4.
And you still can't, not yet. He's not even 4 yet.
Yeah, so it's not like he's voting now.
And it's not like we are the type that we're going to travel with a nanny. I mean, I don't know how it would have worked.
The reasons that I definitely wouldn't have liked it. Now, use the Schwartz and Sandoval bar opening. That's different. That's a bar opening. It's a public thing, right? So the cameras are more periphery. They're there, but they're not really there. Like you could kind of just do your thing.
Yeah, there's like press there.
This wedding that we're talking about, it wouldn't be that. There would be like they'd be very present in what was going on. So like while you're eating and like you go into the bar and can you get out of the way and
that's what it is.
It would have been a lot more present. And like you said, they're all filming. So it's not like you're going there for a vacation to have a good time and let loose and go whatever when they're going to be filming. So it just it really didn't make sense for me for us to be there in that type of setting.
See, you said it so well. That's what it is. You can't go up to Lala and hang out. Lala and I are friends. I can't go up and interact and we're not on vacation
absolutely.
because she's filming a scene, which is her job, which is
Yes.
how she puts food on the table for her family.
And you've done it.
And I've done it, so I understand it. So it's like, why are you going? There's like a glass wall divider.
Well, listen, there might not have been, but no offense, why waste the money? You know what I mean? To go do that, to spend all that money to go do that when there is that glass wall. I mean, sure, it could have been a family vacation for us maybe, but it's like I'd rather go do something else if I'm picking my vacation.
Well, we actually had a work reason why you and I were not able to go that same week. But I can imagine if, like you said, we were the type of family who had a big nanny situation, or maybe if Shams gets older, but like right now, or like, the McGuires are coming, but like at this point in time, that whole thing wasn't feasible. I regret that I missed the wedding, I care about them, and we'll definitely be at Summer's birthday party next month. So, but not to make it about us, I'm just saying.
You did just make it a lot about you. But yeah, it just wasn't.
I called myself out.
Yeah, it wasn't in the cards, but
But the thing you guys can expect from this show is that you get the perspective from people who are friends with a lot of the shows that we're talking about. So that's a different POV.
Well, see, you keep using the proverbial we. You're friends. I'm not friends with any of them. I know them. I might have met them. I don't even know half their names. I couldn't pick some of them out of the lineup. You might have to, introduce me again when I shake their hands. So I will let you know now, I am pulling no punches here. I don't, no offense. I don't care about any of the relationships you have with these people. I'm grateful. You're great that you're your friends and fantastic. But it's not like, if we're going to do the pod, I keep it real. That's how I am. So I'm not going to, because you're friends with someone, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to say what I really think. So that's never going to happen.
Okay, but I am saying I'm friends with a lot of people that of the shows that we're going to be talking about.
You are.
And giving that perspective is going to be different from someone who's not.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I like that twist that we're adding into something that, is a big deal. It's a big detail.
Okay.
It's like, it's different because not only do you have a personal relationship with the network and the way the industry works and the people, but like the fourth wall. I mean, it's good.
But
I'm
not just that.
excited.
You are a fan of these shows, even without
the first self-professed Bravoholic and Bravo-lebrity.
Even without any of these, relationships that you're talking about or any of the other experiences that you've had, you're still watching the shows. You're a fan from that level. So
yes, when OC was there before us, and Atlanta was there before us,
or the Hills, or Jersey Shore, or any of the. Did you like these shows? This is what you watch. This is what helps you unwind. And I'd rather watch a Met game. She'd rather watch people scream at each other and throw glasses at each other. That's her.
All right, let's dive in.
Go ahead.
All right. So in last night's episode of VPR, this is the episode where really at this point, people are starting to see all the warts in Rachel Raquel.
Oh.
Okay. We have already been to Lake Havasu in Vegas trip. We have already seen her hit on Tom Schwartz.
Okay.
Show up to guys' night out uninvited.
This is the paper bag that went with us to the wedding last year, correct?
Case in point.
Yeah.
Yes. We did go to Hannah Berner's wedding in May, which was less than a year ago.
Okay.
With Brock and Sheena, Nima and Raquel, Rachel, and you and me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nima was supposed to bang Raquel, right? Like that's why she was there, or that's why he was there with her, or weren't they supposed to hump?
Oh. Rachel wasn't invited to the wedding.
Oh.
Rachel was Nima's +1.
Yeah, so he was supposed to bang her. Did they bang?
Nima was able to bring anyone he wanted and decided that he would bring her.
Lucky her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think she might have maybe jumped on that opportunity.
Oh, she's definitely an opportunity jumper. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I think, you
Yeah.
never know anything for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not looking at her credit card bills, but I'm pretty sure she probably hopped on the American Airline app. Shout out to whatever airline she used, confirmed a seat for herself, and went ahead and inserted herself into that weekend plan.
Yeah, I just had this, again, outside looking in, just she didn't seem very bright. She didn't seem like, she seemed very thirsty. She definitely seemed like she was enamored with it all, that she was, on, like you said, coming to these weddings, hanging out with the people, taking cars and going to a nice wedding in the Hamptons. And
We all stayed in the same block of hotel rooms on
Yeah.
the same floor. Like, I was 301. Tommy and I, you and I were 301. They were room 303. It was like we were hearing each other all through the night. And,
yeah, she
She
just
was,
she didn't seem very deep.
she was nice.
She's what I'm not saying she wasn't
She
nice.
was sweet.
Whatever. She
back
just
then.
didn't seem like she was. She could still be sweet now. It's again. She just didn't seem very, like she had a lot.
Of density.
Yeah, a guy like Nima, for example. For those that don't know, Nima that was on Shahs. Nima's a smart guy. Nima's a good conversationalist. Nima could, definitely host a talk show.
He's good.
He's got a lot of, he could talk on a lot of subjects. Nima's got some depth to him. Whereas the girl that he was with, she had like the depth of a puddle. She was not, like, I'm like, wow, she seems not too bright.
Well, I just want to say that the impression that we got from her public, demeanor is very sweet. So it's a far, far departure from a girl that's going to bang your best friend's, live-in boyfriend.
Whatever.
Okay. She did not give off that vibe at all.
Okay. Did you say so?
What? She didn't give that vibe off for you?
These shows are all fucking incestuous. You act like, oh my God, I could knock me over with the feather. She banged someone else in the crew. They've all fucked each other.
No.
Every one of them have banged each other at some point, one or the other. So like, oh, now she just banged someone else. Okay, I got it. Like I said, she did not seem that bright. And my experience with the other guy, the fucking what do you call it?
Scandoval?
Scandoval. Yeah,
Tom
him.
Sandoval.
He thinks he's a fucking superstar. Like he thinks he's, Elton John.
You mean your experience of meeting him
Of
face
meeting
to
him.
face
Yes,
many times?
the times that I've interacted with him, and that's not to say he's a nice guy or he's a dick, whatever. He just thinks he's a star. Like he thinks he's the cat's meow, as they like to say. And like, I don't know. I'm a little, it's reality TV, bro. You know what I mean? No one here has any real talent. Not to be a dick. Then none of them can act. None of them could sing. None of them could, dance. Like they all try. They all try to do a little of that, but that's not why they're on TV. They're good at, like putting their friends on blast. That's why they're there.
I just want to.
And Sandoval, to me, like I said, I'm not surprised that this girl fell in line behind him because he's like, Jim Jones. Like he's looking for followers. You know what I mean? He's looking for Kool-Aid drinkers. And she's a Kool-Aid drinker.
Yes.
Yeah.
In all the years, plus 10 plus that I've known Tom Sandoval, he has been that guy. He's got that main character energy. He is, very sociable. He will come up to you, offer you a cigarette, offer you a drink. He's hospitable. He and Tom Schwartz are very, to me, have been very down to earth and approachable and sweet and inviting. Okay. So,
yeah,
and he's,
if that what I just said is saying that I agree with you.
yeah, I know.
I don't think that he's not that. I just think that he has a certain presence that, again, he feels like he's the center of the room.
Yes, but and that's the thing between Tom Schwartz and Tom Sandoval. Those guys, we never thought were the type who were going to fuck anybody's girlfriend behind the scenes. Like,
again, you're
in-
using the
in the
proverbial
friend group.
You're using the proverbial we again.
in the friend group.
They all fuck each other. Like, I don't understand. They
No,
all bang
because
each other.
Sheena has never hooked up with anyone from the friend group.
Okay, great.
And the other thing is that we've never known to date that Tom Schwartz or Sandoval fucked anybody in the friend group.
Okay.
It was just Jax and his ex, Kristen.
I highly doubt that, first of all.
Okay, it's
I
a
don't,
fact.
With facts. You don't know any facts.
Jax was the big cheater who screwed around.
Lala banged the dude Kennedy while she was in another relationship, correct?
Okay. Years before.
Forget the years.
No.
Did that happen?
No.
Oh, it didn't happen.
Not if you don't let me explain. Okay. Lala was single. James Kennedy were single.
No, they weren't.
They met.
Okay.
They met.
He was on Watch What Happens Live 2 days ago talking about the fact that they cheated together.
I thought you don't watch Bravo.
I don't, but I read the paper.
So
I read in the Post. It's in the Post. That's how I keep abreast of this type of shit. It was in the Post. He basically said verbatim that, that we cheated.
I just wanted to add, long before Raquel came into the picture, Lala and James were friends. They were very much on an island when all the girls didn't want to fuck with Lala yet because they weren't being nice to her. She and James were friends. They were both single and they were friends. So do single, hot, young friends eventually they drank a lot back then. And did they hook up? Yes, they did.
Okay. So, like, she banged a married guy. He was married.
Wait.
Okay.
That's her separate personal stuff.
Got you.
The fact that she met a man
Okay.
that told her that his marriage was over, they were getting a divorce, all of that.
Okay.
That's what she did with Randall.
Or that's what she wanted to believe.
Okay. And then, hold on. Then Raquel said that she didn't consider her and James to be exclusive until a certain point in their relationship. So yes, they had met, and yes, James and Lala hooked up, but it was often, like we've said before, there's that gray period when you're not sure if you're exclusive, and I don't think they were exclusive.
Well, again, he said as much that they were, and he said they cheated. So, again, it's all like to act like my hero right now, the guy I love more than anybody, is Sandoval. Just for the simple fact that everybody's pissing on his head like he's the worst person on earth. Oh my God, can you believe he did any of this? Yeah, I can.
Why?
Because this is what they all do. This is what they all do. And then it's, oh, no. But she and her were friends. So it's like, oh, okay, as long as you fuck anybody else, you could cheat with wives, you could cheat with husbands, you could fucking break up, any other happy homes. But if they're friends, then you've crossed the line. Now it's crazy. Meanwhile, friends, she knows the girl, what, a year, 2 years? They're friends? That's not friends. That's someone you know. That's someone you know. That's someone that you hang out with. It's not friends. I promise. If she got married, the chick that is not in her bridal party. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
Well, it probably would be in hers because that bitch is thirsty.
Okay. Let's slow down here, darling, for a second so that I can just make my point before I forget. Here's the thing. I'm going to give you a beautiful example of why that's different. Okay? Now, when there is murder, there's 4 degrees. Involuntary manslaughter, voluntary manslaughter, premeditated, first degree, and second degree, right? Well, sorry, second degree and first degree. There is a clause called special circumstances. Okay? I.e., the Menendez brothers had special circumstances, which was not only did they murder their parents in cold blood, but they also stood to gain money from their death, right?
Yes.
So that is why they are doing what is called LWOP in the legal world, life without the possibility of parole. So yes, it is escalated. When you meet somebody, like Lala did. A guy, you're a young girl in LA. Yes, you're hungry, not thirsty. You're hungry for getting the action that LA is supposed to promise,
She's
right?
hungry. The other one's thirsty. But Lala's hungry.
Correct.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Rachel
That wouldn't have
is
anything to do with the fact that you guys are friends.
correct. No, I'm just being objective.
Oh, you said that? I don't think you are.
I am.
I don't think you are. Because I do remember, because for those, when I first met my wife, I used to watch these shows because like we were, nesting and whatever. So
You with me, you used to
yeah,
watch.
and then it just became too much because then it becomes, they have a serial nature to it for a reason. It's like soap operas. Like you start to really think
Yes.
about it outside. And like I found myself thinking about it, or, oh my God. So I had to like rip off the Band-Aid and stop watching the shows. And I remember when she came on the show, I remember with that Emmett shit, and they were all telling her, yo, bro, he's married. Yeah, and she'd be like, no, he's not. And
He's
it's
separated,
like,
getting a divorce.
Okay, and they were all telling her otherwise. So she'd take her line in the sand when everybody else told her differently, and it's the same thing here. Except they aren't married. They live together.
No, what Lala is getting backlash for is that she made light of it. For example, not the marriage part, okay? Oh, sorry, Randall? Yeah. Randall told her that he was separating, getting a divorce, like he was an unencumbered man, okay?
But
the
again,
only thing, wait, yeah, let me make my point. Let me make my point.
Go ahead.
Lala believed Randall was unencumbered. All he had to do was he had shared 2 children with his ex. So once she moved past that point and believed him.
The fact that he leased her a Range Rover, that didn't have anything to do with what made that easier for her to digest. All you got to do is pick up the phone, call the wife. Yo, man, before I proceed with this guy, I just want to make sure, because there's kids involved, I just want to make sure that you guys are done. Is that, because all my friends are saying that they're not. All my friends are telling me, no, they're still married and he's playing you, and I don't want to be played. So I just want to check in with you and just make sure before we keep going, because he did just lease me a Range Rover. I just want to make sure that you guys are separated. You can't have that conversation?
What I'm saying to you is that the reason why Lala got backlash is because Randall, who is very generous with many women, okay, he will buy purses and lease cars and lease apartments. And P.S. in New York and LA and a lot of major cities in this world, there are wealthy men who pay for many different girls' apartments and many different girls' cars and pay and provide the cash flow for these girls and take care of them. And then in exchange for that, they have that companionship and relationship. That does not mean that Lala, while she was making jokes about it, she was like, yeah, BJ's for PJs. Okay. So she was basically she was basically making light of it. Like, yes, I am going to go ahead and do a BJ for a PJ because private jet, because to her, that was kind of like owning it and taking like the slut shaming out of it by saying that this is a generous guy who has means to put all of us on this airplane. Everyone was enjoying the private jets, like Jax and the Toms and the girls. Everyone was enjoying the fruits of his generosity. And she was like, yeah, my BJs got all of us on this private plane to wherever we're going right now.
Fantastic. And if that's the life you want to live, knock yourself out. I'm saying that it's very hypocritical when now she acts like Sandoval's the gum on the bottom of her shoe because of what he did. It's like, listen, you're nobody to pass judgment. Just like any of these people. They're nobody to pass judgment on the other. Has he done something terrible? Okay, yeah. He did something real fucked up to one of the people in their crew. Absolutely. But nobody's married. There's no kids involved. They live together. It's real simple. Pack your shit. One of you pack your shit and move out and then proceed on to go on with your life. And you just say, I don't ever want to date him because I can see how he would fuck me over. You know what I mean?
What's the name of Kanye West's ex-girlfriend? Is it Amber Rose?
Yes.
Okay. Amber Rose started a women's movement, and it was started by Slut Walk, and I went to a Slut Walk a few years back, and I know that Lala performed a song at Slut Walk because she also we were all trying to take the slut shaming out of things, where it's always okay for a man to have sex with a woman, but if a woman is having sex with a man, then she's a hoe, and he's like, he's cool.
No,
you know,
no. With a married man, it's still no bueno, bro.
You gotta let me finish, and I'm gonna tell you why. Lala never had sex with anyone that she had a personal relationship with their girlfriend. I get.
Okay, there it goes. That makes it. There you go. That's when it's bad. I got it. If you're friends with if you have and not even friends, because again, they're not sandbox friends.
Let me take
they're
it to
associates. They're coworkers.
Let me take it to you like this. Let's move the topic. Let's move the needle over a little bit and say, look, forget about Lala, because the person who was wronged here is Ariana. Okay, yeah. Ariana Madix is the woman who was a good friend to Raquel. Yes. When Raquel broke up with James Kennedy, she has now been on the show for enough seasons where she should either rent her own apartment or go fly home to wherever her parents live, or do something that is affordable, rather than just go ahead and crash at your friend's house while you were slowly and gradually making moves on her boyfriend of 10 plus years.
Well, again, she's dehydratedly thirsty, and anybody that could sit in the room with her for 10 seconds could tell that, including, and I would hope, any of these people that are on this show for 10 years. I would hope at this point they at least have like a sixth sense about those type of people. So if you can't tell what her objectives and her motives are, then you should probably have problems tying your shoe too. And again, the same Ariana you're talking about also got eaten out by Lala in the back of a car, correct? When she was in the middle of a relationship. So let's not act like this isn't the fall of Rome with the sexuality that goes on amongst these people. So again, it's real easy to point fingers at this one, who again she's dumb as a box of rocks.
Who?
The Raquel broad.
Okay.
Dumb as a box of rocks, is definitely a follower, definitely loves to be on TV, loves having fucking fans and shit like that. Yeah,
but the thing is that...
And Sandoval was able to... the other one...
Sandoval didn't have a problem with Lala and Ariana hooking up because it was him driving the car.
Okay.
And he does not, unlike you, and you guys need to know this, Tommy considers, if I were to hook up with a girl, the same exact thing as if I were to hook up with a guy. It's cheating. It's not allowed. And some men, maybe more than half, think that, you know what, if you hook up with a girl, that's not cheating. And if I'm standing right there driving the car, that's not cheating.
Yeah, listen, I'm not a prude. I'm saying that if that's the type of lifestyle that they're having, don't be shocked when the girl who's sleeping over in the guest room, it might be getting some dick too. Don't be stunned.
But that's a betrayal. The reason why this whole thing, Scandoval, is blown up is because of the multiple layers of betrayal for not just a one-time thing. Yeah. This isn't like, oh my God, we were blackout drunk last night. I can't believe this happened. It never happens again. It was an ongoing betrayal. The generosity and the innocence and the kindness of one of the sweetest people that we know, Ariana, was betrayed time and time again.
I've never met her. So because you're using the we. I've never met her.
Okay.
So I imagine she's probably a great girl. Great. But again, if that type of deal is going down for that long, it's really exposing that there's other holes in the relationship as well.
Okay, fine. You can say that they weren't in okay. Let's say Tom and Ariana's relationship wasn't as strong as it once was. Okay. That's obvious. Okay. And I did a little scrolling on Tom Scandoval's page, and I saw that the last time he had her on his page, on his grid, was when the two of them were nominated at the People's Choice Award as a couple, as a duo. They're a brand. I
And
also
I think that's where the problem comes into play.
they own
That
a house together.
But it's the
They
show.
get nominated for the PCAs together.
It's the show. That they on this show, they're cast, they're together, they're a duo. And like, you can't just break up. You know what I mean? How does that play out on the show? Especially a guy like him. You know, I'm sure this is really killing him in the sense that he wants to look like the good guy always. That's probably
because
why he stayed in the relationship as long as he did, because he likes to look like the good guy. And now he looks like a fucking pond scum to most people, and that's got to be what hurts him more than anything. It's not the fact that he fucked over this girl that he's probably fallen out of love with a long time ago.
Well, shout out to Kristen Doty, because what's interesting is that when Ariana and Tom got together, it was pretty much at Kristen Doty's expense. Okay?
What the fuck?
Okay, so
I'm stunned. I am What? Really?
So here's what happened. If you don't know, I'm just going to quickly run it past you. Okay? Try not to overreact.
Okay.
Okay. So I know you know who Jax Taylor is.
Yes.
Jax. Okay. So Jax, he and Kristen Doty, the then girlfriend of Tom Sandoval, fucked. Okay. Now, everyone was pissed at Jax and Kristen for doing that. It was like 10 years ago. Okay.
They're over it now. Okay.
But what ended up happening was Tom broke up with Kristen and started dating Ariana. And it was at this big Coachella trip like many moons ago. And now people are kind of saying, well, Ariana got with Sandoval while he was at the tail end of Kristen. And I just want to say, shout out to Kristen Doty. With all that said, she still came to Ariana's shelter and safety and aid and love and slid right next to her and made sure that she was okay and holding her hand and being there for her as like a shoulder to cry on.
So look, fast forward down the line, you know, next time maybe Raquel will be there to hold Ariana's hair and, you know, get the tears out of her eye the next time one of these other people on the show fucks her over.
I really
Or maybe she'll do the fucking over the next time. All I know is that this is like the best thing that ever happened to her. One, she gets the Ariana broad. This all happened very publicly, so she comes out looking like, you know, Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The relationship was obviously going nowhere if this is how things have, you know, it was just in this stagnant phase.
Yes.
So, I mean, aside of the fact that they own a house together, you know, that's, you know, now you got to sell the house and do whatever, figure that out. That sucks.
Lots of admin.
Yeah, that sucks.
It does.
You know,
it's tough.
But there's no divorce.
You and I both know the house that you and I can own together is not going to be the same house that you and I can go buy two of them, one for you, one for me.
Absolutely.
And all of that stuff.
Absolutely. So yeah, that part, inconvenience, that sucks, pain in the ass. But like and this show, from a show standpoint, Vanderpump was lagging in the ratings the last few years. Is it coming back? Is it what?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's Front Street everywhere. She's the champion of it because she's the one that obviously I was just at a concert and I saw some pictures. So she comes out looking smelling like a rose. And again, next year, next season, she'll, you know, it will be all about her. It will be about who's she dating now and who's she with and so like she comes like from, again, it's not, you know, from the reality world or the reality television world. This is the best thing that ever happened to her. She gets rid of this guy. This guy gets to go get, you know, a worshiper because the Raquel was going to walk around behind him like, you know, she's one of his disciples, you know. So I don't know. I don't see it as bad as everybody's making it out to be. And I think, you know, it was from the, you know, the production and Bravo standpoint, this has been great fodder. No one got arrested. There's no restraint. Oh, there was a restraining order. They don't like that shit. They don't like that shit.
Well, I don't like that shit because not only did it impact me the first time when it was a restraining order against you, but my girl Sheena is the one who received a restraining order this time. Mm. The restraining order was thrown out. I threw it up on my IG story.
No, she dropped it. It wasn't thrown out. She dropped it because she realized, oh shit, I'm not going to be able to film. And that's a terrible, terrible move by her because she's not main cast, and she's the one that broke up the home. So like they were just gonna talk about her.
No, she didn't show up in court
Yeah,
for the hearing.
Yeah, that's all planned. She didn't do that on purpose.
And therefore, the police reports that she filed were fraudulent and false, and she perjured, and she falsely accused Sheena
You're making
of
some pretty
striking her.
Allegedly.
I'm quoting her attorney's statement.
Yeah, you are making some broad jumps here, kid.
Okay, what I'm saying is that Sheena's lawyer put a statement out that said that Rachel did not appear in court. She failed to appear. The case was dropped because Rachel then put Sheena's name in defamation. She put Sheena's her and her whole family in a fake shadow of defamation of character because she never hit her. Okay. And allegedly, I'll say the word allegedly in case I need to not deal with any bottom dwellers.
Listen, she dropped that
trolls
because it made sense for her. Again, she's still trying to be on that show. She wants to be a part of the show.
Of course she does.
Shit. She loves the shit,
Now, I do want to comment on something you said about Vanderpump Rules as a show. I can't imagine this show this season and how well it would be, how interested people would be in watching this season. I'm being real. I too can be friends with all of these people and be honest to you guys. This season was pretty snoozy. I don't think that people were that enthralled with the stories that were happening that we were watching on the screen. And I do think that the only thing that's really popped off is what happened in real time, which is why their cameras went back up and they had to do this. Yes, we're going to see Ariana thrive. Yes, she was in a stagnant relationship. Yes, she stayed in it because they are a brand. They published a cocktail book together. They get nominated at the PCAs together. They own a house together. It's a lot, right? Yeah. But there were moments in this episode where I saw Ariana laughing. Scandoval said something funny about Schwartz and Katie's divorce.
Well, what happened with the episode? Where are they in the episode?
So the episode opens up to DJ James Kennedy mixing music because he is a DJ after all. And his dad comes into his apartment and they start talking about how he never saw her making it to the marriage, the long haul. What's the expression? Going the long game, whatever. His dad says he never thought that Raquel was the right girl for him. And they talk about James Kennedy's sobriety because he's been dry. Now he's drinking again, but he's been dry for a few years. And the new girl is Allie, and she sits down with them. And now we're learning that she's been invited to a girls' night out. So the producers are telling the story like, hey, I think that we need to let Allie be more part of the scene, and let's have a girls' night where they invite Allie. So Sheena and Lala and Ariana are including James Kennedy's girlfriend because he's feeling like he's out on an island, and he's saying it's like Twilight Zone that everywhere I go that my ex-fiance is showing up. Because Raquel did come into the scene because she kept on showing up to See You Next Tuesdays, which are the nights that they have at Pump Pump and what's the first restaurant that she opened up? Sir. So
that's the one that they all worked at, right?
They all worked at Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, DJ James Kennedy is DJing and Raquel showed up like a fan.
Well, she's a show-upper. You can tell that, in the little interaction that I've had with her, I could tell that if they were having, a rave in Death Valley and there were going to be cameras, she'd be fucking the first one there. 100%.
Yeah, and she'll pay for her own ticket.
Yes. Yeah, she'll walk backwards over hot coals.
She'll hoof it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Backwards
They give her a porta potty to get changed in and do her makeup. She'd be no problem.
She'll find a rechargeable USB hair curler.
She'll make it work.
Okay, well, that's how they met. So she was a stalker fan allegedly.
Okay.
And then this is the episode. These are the scenes where Brock and Sheena and Summer are doing their seating charts for the wedding. I mean, that part took me back because, it's like, remember our wedding? Like we're talking about like, where is everyone going to sit? And the people tell you, like, the wedding planner tells you you've got 10 seats per table, sometimes 12, sometimes 8. Right. And you've got to make sure that everyone who's sitting there is happy, because if they're sitting at a table with like people that they don't meld or mesh with, then it's going to suck. So we killed it, by the way, Tommy, you and I, when we did our seating arrangement. Every table was seated perfectly. And I get why Sheena is stressing out over it being right. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what's happening in her world. I think she packed her wedding dress in her suitcase. I don't know if it was like the kind of dress that you're supposed to fold into a suitcase.
I do have to say, this does all sound like riveting television.
All right, fine, whatever. I'm just telling you. So, okay, here is one thing though. Everyone's been watching this Schwartz and Sandy's, the one that you and I went to the soft open for.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in real life, forgive me for repeating this, but I'm just saying, in real life, when we went to support Schwartz and Sandy's soft open, there was a press line there. We expected that part. We expected like ET and E! News and Daily Mail and Page 6 and all of that to have a press line. But what we didn't also think about was the cameras were shooting it for a VPR episode on the inside. That didn't matter. It's like you said. We went to that and it was great. So the main storyline for Schwartz and Sandy has been, it's not opening. And they go and they complain to Vanderpump, okay, Lisa Vanderpump, and they said, the reason we're not open yet is because Greg, our partner, won't let us. Well, it all comes very clear in this episode when Tom and Tom walk into the bar and their general manager, Brett, is sitting there. You guys, I've been reading a lot of you think that it's the same Brett who got fired and canceled. I'm pretty sure it's a completely different Brett. He looks totally like they both have brown hair. Nothing else the same. So the manager is telling them, guys, I need a drink menu. I need to know what you want the glasses and the stemware for these drinks to be served in. I need to know what the measurements are so that I can put it into the POS, which is the system where restaurants do. I need the prices. So they haven't even come up with, and Tom are like, oh yeah, he's like, that's what was supposed to be finalized today. Could you imagine? They have a drink list without having names of it, without having the glasses that they're going to be served in, and the prices. That's really like what shows you that they're two guys that sleep in until, well, sorry, but this I heard from the grapevine that they sleep in until like 2 p.m. and then wake up and do nothing and then like get ready for like another party and then start over. I mean, it's not that hard. It is a lot of work. I know it is a lot of work to choose the glasses and the ingredients and the names of each drink, but they haven't done it. And the prices.
Yeah, I mean, if it's your venture, it shouldn't be that hard. It should be something that you're passionate about and like that you've been looking to do.
Yeah.
That this is like that type of minutia should be taken care of months in past.
Exactly.
Because you're excited. It's going to be your place. You've been thinking about that forever. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I want the Tangerine Dream or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? You should already have the names, all that shit in your mind.
And the price.
Yeah.
And the glass.
Yeah, because again, that's stuff that while you've been doing it at another person's place.
Yeah.
You're thinking about it.
For
like
15
Cocktails
years.
and Dreams.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
The cocktail, like while he was working and slaving away, it was all for so that eventually he could open his bar that he had in his mind from years ago, you know? So that's usually how that type of thing works.
Right.
But
and then Katie walks in to do a tasting, and then Greg, he comes out and they cut to Sandoval saying like, yeah, we had to humble ourselves and try to go ahead and make it work with our partner, Greg. Bitch, you didn't have to humble yourself to try to make it work. You needed to do something so that your bar would stay open, not just have a customer come once and then never come back. They wanted to put nachos and tacos on the bar. And Greg actually was like, no, I need it to be like a lobster. I actually wrote it down. It was pretty amazing. The things that he wrote, I was like, my mouth was watering. He was having them do a tasting of
Raquel's box.
Ew. No.
She would serve that up. You mind me on more of the show? You could serve that up. Yep.
No. It was called our house-made lobster corn dog with fresh corn batter, roasted beef carpaccio salad with a goat cheese vinaigrette, crab beignets with tarragon green goddess dipping sauce, tahini Caesar salad with flat iron steak, and talo fries. Basically like very big fancy steak fries, but like cut like with really sharp corners. I mean, look,
this episode does sound riveting.
It was if they're gonna be a real restaurant, okay,
well, they're not. They're a bar
with tapas, with apps,
yeah,
just like the other ones that are successful, okay, that LVP owns.
Yeah.
So here we are at the tail end. Don't worry, we're about to go to Mexico. It's gonna be lit. I did start to get the feels. I felt like shit. Did we make the wrong decision? Should we have tried to make it work so that we could have gone and been there for that? No. Or was it a little bit of like Shahs nostalgia? It was just really sweet because
you could have went. I would have kept the kid here. We would have hung out. You could have definitely went.
That's not what I wanted, honey. I want us to go everywhere together. Okay.
Well, I have no regret. And I don't feel like I missed out on anything.
Well,
and that's no offense to Brock. That's no offense to
Sheena.
I'm sure it's magical, and I hope you have a long, happy life together.
Because it's not our last opportunity to spend time together. Hello.
Yeah, no, I was good.
I think that we should buy the condo buy the house next to them in Palm Springs. Since we're clearly never going to feel the weather is never going to warm up. Are we ever going to get heat in the valley again?
Never.
It's going to just be a high of 34 degrees.
Fast forward
Fahrenheit.
a month from now, we'll be baking out here and you'll be talking about when is it ever going to be chilly?
Okay, well, I'm going to clock you. Today is March 31st. So if by April 30th, it's not a heat wave, then you're going to buy me a Coke.
Okay.
Okay, make it a diet.
No problem. A Coke Zero.
Okay, yeah. All right. So Lala and Sheena and Brock have a little lunch together. And this is where Lala tells Brock that she is sorry for calling out Brock for abandoning his children in Australia. Okay. Because sorry
about that. Take it back.
Well, because the thing is, Sheena and you know what? Sheena gets beat up on this show
by Brock.
Like, no, it's not funny.
No, I'm just
you
saying.
Can't make jokes like that.
I'm just saying that it sounds like everybody has it's very strong, very, very strong moral fiber that's rotating around this universe.
Okay,
it does.
Well, we all met Brock for the first time. Yeah. And when the people at home, the audience, met Brock for the first time, immediately every single person started hating on Brock. Oh my God, who is he? What is he? Like,
well, that's what happens.
They're just such haters.
Same thing happened to me. It's what happened. That's what happens.
It was jealousy. Nobody can see Sheena on the come up. She has an extraordinary life. She does extraordinary things. She has a music career, a great background. She has a booming, brand deals with businesses, multiple businesses, a lash line. I mean, the list does not stop.
Yes.
Mom, wife, she had a bad marriage. She had to deal with her ex-husband's. Oh, you didn't know? Her last name is not her maiden name. Oh, Jesus. Sheena Shea was married to Mike Shea, and I'm going to go ahead and put the word allegedly in, even though I don't know if it's needed. He allegedly had substance abuse issues. So her first.
Oh, I think I remember that. There was the guy. He was hooked on the Vikes, right? He was the Vike head.
Allegedly.
No, there's no allegedly. My man was popping pills, I think, on the show. What do you mean?
Well,
I remember that because again, in the early goings when you and I met, I think that was the time that was on. Like that was what.
Yes, that was the time.
Yeah, Lala was with the dude, and she was with the Vike head. And Jax was fucking banging everything.
And I really honestly think every single person was really jealous of Sheena when she met Brock. And I think that she gets a bad edit and they make her look a certain way that she's not. And, Brock owns it.
We're at 55 minutes, just so you know.
Brock owns it.
Okay.
He owns his shit. He honestly has every right to be permanently mad at Lala, but he did move on, which I totally get and I think is great. But it's mainly because Brock is showing up as a strong male figure in Ocean's life. They exchange a very sweet moment.
Who's Ocean? Shay's the kid, right?
Lala's daughter. No.
Oh, Lala.
Summer.
Got it. Summer and Ocean.
So at this lunch, I know it's very hard for us to stay on track because we love these topics. But at this lunch, Lala apologizes for ever saying that Brock was not a good father to the people that he had 2 kids at home in Australia that I guess he doesn't have custody of. But the reason he explained, and he explained it to us personally off camera, you and me, he told us that his ex found a man who was the father figure, and asked Brock to step back because he's in their lives. He like kind of replaced them. So that's just the catch up part. But the end scene is Lala says, "I'm sorry." They shed a few tears. Lala says, "You are an amazing father to Summer, and I see that. And the way that you are with Ocean is just so sweet." But it's true.
You won't be getting that same nomination that Ariana and Tom got, I promise. You're not getting that Emmy for that.
So long story short, yeah, so long story short.
Or long story long.
Yeah. So they hop on a plane to Mexico. Everyone's arriving. You're getting all the wedding feels. The people are standing with the trays in the lobby, ready to present them with like orange juice or pineapple or pina coladas or whatever people do when they get off a plane in a tropical, beautiful hotel resort. We should have gone. But anyway, I mean, I can't remember why, but we couldn't go. But anyway, okay. But I got to tell you, there is a flashback where Lala is so funny as she makes fun of as she makes fun of Raquel, because she says Raquel comes to a scene and she tries to predict how the argument is going to go, and she short circuits halfway through the talk and can't remember what she's going to say. And just Lala's like, "Come on, girl, put a thought together. I know you can do it." And honestly, I died. It was the fucking best moment of reality TV I've probably ever seen.
Oh.
It was amazing. There are many.
Yeah.
Well,
there can't be many if it's the best moment.
Yeah, and honestly, the episode did end on kind of like a sour note because James drank too much.
Sober James.
Sober James decided he could start drinking again this season.
Okay.
So he drank too much. He made his girlfriend, Allie, very uncomfortable. Ariana was like finally using her loud voice because, soft voices and civilized demeanors don't work in these circles.
Reality TV. Yeah. Decorum is not your friend.
Yeah. So James starts to get a little, aggressive James, as he does when he drinks. He is truly a completely different person when he's sober than when he's drinking. I mean, it's just like,
I know a few.
He's a big, like you probably think of me. He is really funny and he has a really big personality when he's sober. And he could probably have like one drink, but when it gets to that point where he crosses over, he's now insulting everyone at the table. His girlfriend, Allie, is really uncomfortable. She gets up, she walks out, the episode ends, and Ariana has just had to step up and get really loud with him to get his damn attention. So
little does she know that's going to be the least of her worries in a couple of weeks.
Word, honey. That nothing was better said than that in this entire episode.
So we didn't really talk about any other reality television.
No, because we're not supposed to. This episode was just a VPR recap.
Oh, okay. Didn't realize that.
You didn't?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think we covered a lot ad nauseum, and I think that.
I'm really excited about what's next.
But it's time to go back to reality. See you next week.